So it's New Year's Eve and it's time to do the 2018 edition of how many miles, or not miles, hours we put on the tractors, but I do include the truck. So on this piece of paper, 2017 we had 84,728 miles, and right now we have 102,193 miles. So I'll write that down, and I'm heading to the skid loaders next. So now I'm in the Case 1840, the little skid. We don't use this one much in the winter time. Summertime we use a okay amount of time. Let's see, 8,599.9. Looking at that number, I'm pretty sure the tack don't work unless we got really lucky. So I'll write that down anyway. But I think I said last year I have a suspicion the tack don't work, and I think that's gonna clarify it. Let's see what we got on here for last year. It works. Maybe not. Well, we'll go with it. Now we're going to the small 4440. As you can see, it is starting to really snow now. It was raining this morning, then it switched to freezing rain, back to rain, then sleet, then freezing rain and snow. Now it's pretty much snow. This tractor, I'm pretty sure he put a lot more hours on it than last year, because last year we didn't plant corn with it, and this year we did. So we did replace the tack on this tractor in about mid to late January. So we're gonna add about 5 hours to this number. It does say 256, not 256, 259.3. And then that number plus this number is how many total hours the tractor has, but we're only gonna write down 259. Next we got the big 4450. We don't use it in the winter time because we use it a lot in the summer, and it has the duals on it. But we'll check the hours. Now with the 50 series, it really sucks because they give you the littlest groove and it'll fade out and dust will get in there. And it's easier just to pop this off. Try to read the number. Oops. Looks like 16,674. Yep, that's what it is. 16,674.4, I think, but we'll just write down that number. So now we're in the big 4440, and we got 10,999.4. We were hauling manure with it today. Put on 2 or 3 hours on it, but not quite 11,000, so 10,999. Now we're in the smaller 4450, and I want to explain something quick. The reason why I call it the small 4440 or small 4450 is because the 50, this one is smaller because it has smaller tires on it, and it also, we believe, has less power. Same with that one. That one has the same size tires as the other 4440, but it has a bunch of wheel weights, which makes it look bigger, and we're pretty sure it has more power than the other one, so we just call that one the big one. So yeah, that's the big, this is a little 4450. I mean, that's big 4440. Anyway, we'll look at the hours. Obviously we can't see anything because the engineers didn't know what they were doing, so we'll take this off. Whoops, didn't mean to drop that. Wipe the dust off. Looks like 11,225. So now I'm on the 3020. You don't really see much videos about this tractor because the only field work it really does, and it doesn't do a very lot of it, is rake hay. We don't really rake hay much with this tractor, but it does grind every load of feed, grinds feed every load of feed most years, unless somehow it breaks, on this New Holland grinder. And the reason why we like this tractor on here so much is because there's the auger. We have the auger extension on here, and it goes way up past. It's pretty much level for the back of the hood there. And if you had a cab tractor, you'd have to fold it in, which is really a pain in the ass because that thing's heavy and it takes extra time. So that pipe right there, you can see it's been broke off. It used to be a little taller. The reason that happened is up here, you can see that boot on there. That's a round baler belt, and that's our new boot. But the old boot was a softer rubber, so when it hit the pipe, it didn't bend it. But this is more firm, and it bent the pipe, which is why it was bent for a couple months, and then it eventually broke off. So that's the reason why. Anyway, it has 11,994.7 hours. So we're just gonna count that. We'll round that up to 95. We're in the last piece of equipment, the 1845C skid loader. This skid loader we use a lot more than that one. It's bigger, faster, better tires. Anyway, 858.6, we'll just call it 859, round up. And then right here, the tack's been replaced. That white thing was supposed to say 3,710. You add the numbers together, that's how many hours it has total. So I'll add up the hours for the year and let you know how much hours we put on this year, then compare it to last year, see if it's more or less, same, whole 9 yards. So I got everything done. It's snowing pretty good. I mean, when I started the video, I don't know if I showed it or not, but we got probably 2 inches, maybe 3 now in just an hour or so. I started the video, and then we unhooked the manure spreader, changed the equipment around, hooked the blade up, and everything like that. But it is the last day of the year, New Year's Eve, and hopefully I can have this video up by 9 o'clock or so, 10 o'clock. Depends how long it takes to upload and edit, but I did get everything done. We'll start right here. So last year, on everything, we put 1,708 hours, which is 71 days worth of work. But this year, we only put 1,672 hours, which is 69.67 days. So what's that? Almost just over 2 days less hours we used. Well, the 1840, I'm pretty sure that tack sticks, because I remember that thing being 999.9 months ago. So it definitely doesn't work, but it does go to 64, so I'll just count that. 1845C, which is the highest houred machine, 321 hours. The truck, we put 17,465 hours on. Not hours, miles. Duh. 3020, exactly 150 hours. The big 4440, 266 hours. The little 4440, 264 hours. Big 50, one with duals on, 312 hours. The smaller 50, 295 hours. So between the main 4 cab tractors and the main skid loader, the hours are actually quite similar. So now I'm going to figure out how much more or less it was compared to last year, and we'll figure that out right now. Here we go. 1840, we 32 hours less than last year. 1845C, we used it 11 more hours this year. The truck, we drove 279 more miles than last year, which is actually really close. The 3020, we used it for 36 hours less this year. The big 4440, we used it for 47 hours less this year. Little 4440, we used it 3 hours less. The big 4450, we used it for 22 hours less. And the little did I say little? I meant big 4450, 22 hours less. The little 4450, we used it for 49 more hours this year, with a total of 36. Yeah, we used the equipment 36 less hours this year than last year, which I guess is good. Less hours on it. Now, I know there's going to be people who watch that put more hours on one tractor than we do on everything year, but hey, good for you, I guess. I don't know. We just use it for our 50, 60 cow dairy, some steers, heifers, 400 acres of land. So, of course, it isn't going to be a whole lot, but anyway, that's the everything we did for the year. I don't have the combine. I don't know if I said this or not, because the battery's disconnected. In the spring, I usually forget to write down what the hours is, and in the fall, write it down before we undisconnect the battery. So I honestly thought we'd put more hours on this year, because we did take on a lot more custom work this spring. But we did have less acres of hay, which hay puts on a lot of hours. So, but all the tractors are similar hours, which, except the 3020, of course, but the cab tractors are pretty close in hours, which is what you want. You don't want to have one tractor just smoke all the other ones. The more even, the better, in my eyes. So, it's winter time, and yeah, I don't know if anybody finds it interesting or not. I just find it interesting on how many hours we do. Skid loader does have new tires again, so yep.